4. We've got smoke. 3. We've got ignition. 2, 1. All right, everybody. We've got RIP Takeoff. We've got RIP Takeoff. This is another edition where we talk politics. This is the Mouthpiece Included podcast. And today is all about melanated swimming. And that's right. We can swim. We're going to dispel some myths here. I went down this rabbit hole, and yes, we can swim. So, got a lot of good information lined up for you cats. We're also going to break down FAMU, what's going on at FAMU. So if you guys can, please take this time to like, share, and subscribe. We got some pregame we always do, and then we're going to jump right into the show. Monday edition.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Fair use, y'all.
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like a gaggle of girls?
Okay, I'm in my local Ralph's, and this happened.
I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can
Man, why do they keep the honey around here?
God is a fan of the
Excuse me, you know where the honey is?
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like
Oh,
a gaggle of
cheese
girls?
Al.
He's it.
Who wants cheese head?
I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can stay on my couch because God is a fan of the Bears.
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like a gaggle of girls? The Bears!
I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can stay on my couch because God is a fan of the Bears.
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like a...
New Year's Eve
Okay.
2023 in Mexico, UFC.
All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get it going. Appreciate your patience. Let's get this going. Please stand by, like, share, subscribe. New technology. Let's get that off of there.
Made a mention of something.
Yes, sir. Silver Blacks are back.
Mouthpiece included.
TATN. All right, y'all. Welcome to Mouthpiece Included, where we talk politics. That's politics and sports. You don't like it? Beat it. That's a fusion of sports and politics. Today we're going to go ahead and unpack melanated swimming. This is a short history. Let's dive into the history, culture, and achievements of melanated Americans in swimming. Today we'll explore how melanated swimmers have overcome barriers, stereotypes, and discrimination to make waves in the pool and beyond. Did you know that pre-slavery West Africans were recognized as some of the best swimmers on earth? Or that Fred Evans was the first melanated American to win a collegiate swimming championship in 1975 out of Chicago State. Or that Anthony Nesty became the first swimmer of African descent to win an Olympic gold medal in 1988. These are just some of the stories we're going to go ahead and break down with you later in the show as we celebrate the contributions of melanated Americans to swimming. We'll also talk about the challenges that still exist today, such as lack of access, representation, hope. So grab your goggles. Don't forget your towel, your headphones, and absolutely your mouthpiece. And join us for a splash of history, culture, and inspiration. This is Mouthpiece Included, a podcast that celebrates Black excellence in athletics and or social justice out there. Let's dive in. We'll also be giving our takes on weekly hot topics. We've also picked another major booger of the week for you. So stand back, stand by. Stand back, stand by, pull up, or stand down. But if you do pull up, don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. The link's pinned in the chat. You can call, text 424-900-6945. We'd love to hear from you. We prefer that you pull up if you still got your cojones. Make sure you at least smash that like button and share this on social media. Go ahead and get our resident co-host with the co-most in the building, Jackie Robinson's finest, boots on the ground, managers, taking the kids off the street. And he got his goggles, huh?
TATN.
Shout down, bear down. What's good, folks?
Hey, what up, fool? What's going on? Yeah, we can swim, man. I got my junior assistant lifeguard at Camp Pinewood back in the 80s.
Camp Pinewood, yeah, I remember Camp Pinewood. That was the more bougie one. I went to Camp Duncan, bro, but all my guys went to Pinewood. You was probably there with my guys, man. Mike Qualls and all them. They used to go to Pinewood every year, man.
Yeah, up in Michigan, man. I used to go from the YMCA on 111th. And,
yeah.
Yeah,
bro, that's where I learned how to swim at, man. They threw me right in the deep water at that wild 100. I wasn't even from the hundreds, man. My mama was working. I'm like, man, I don't know nothing. It was a bunch of little G's and D's, little, in training. I don't know what was going on, bro. They was, man. Hey, but yeah, I went to Camp Duncan, man. I was dolo, bro. My mama couldn't afford Pinewood. It was just a little bit more. But yeah.
Pinewood was cool, man. We did 2 weeks there every summer.
All the bougie black kids from Ray used to go to Pinewood. They come around talking about Camp Duncan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Where was Pinewood at, bro? Mine was in Round Lake, I think. But
it was in Michigan. It was. It seemed like a long way. It was about 2 hours. Yeah. Okay. That's when my mother got into Girl Scouts later on in life. I took my niece up there and drove over there because they missed a bus or something. Some scheduling conflict with a sport or something. But I drove up there myself, like 2.5 hours from Chicago.
Are they still in business? Do you know?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are. Because this is less than 10 years ago. And I believe they are.
When you become an adult, you realize, man, camp was more about the parents getting time away from your ass.
Yeah, they didn't care what the hell you did. Yeah, have a good time, baby. Learn something, make friends, do all that. And you realize that you gone for 2 damn weeks.
Hey, bro, I remember we was
kicking it.
You remember I was younger than most people. So I remember we was on the bus, bro, on the way to Duncan. And you be singing the songs. We were singing, "Yo, mama don't wear no drawers," and ding dong. Boy,
I saw when she took them off.
Yeah, I took the mic and choked. I tried to come up with something original, had it all figured out, hit the mic, choked. But they kept it going. They was like, ding dong dong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was like, aha. But by the time I left camp, man, I was cool with all the guys, man. That's how you build relationships. And then later, as you grow up, they be remembering you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was able to move all through the shop, man. Because I interacted with people from every different neighborhood through doing stuff.
Yeah, you can't find you're at camp for a couple of weeks. You got no choice but to learn from people. You do your hiking and ghost stories and swimming in the lake you become an adult as a young adult.
And then you come to the child hall and it's just like pre-prison. Boy, they had you, boy.
I think I need to send my boy. I think I was going when I was like 9 and 10.
It's definitely a growing experience, bro. You know what I'm saying? I definitely was better for it. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, but man, that's a topic in itself, bro. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
All right, so today we're breaking down, as y'all can tell, melanated swimming. It's a short history. Plus we got some hot topics from this week we're going to be chopping it up on. So we're going to do Sox, Cubs, and MLB. But you got anything you want to talk about your Sox or my Cubs, bro, as we push on?
Yeah, the season is still going on.
The Sox are 41-60. They're 12 games back. Okay. That's 41-60. And the Cubs are 48-51. We're 6.5 games back. The American League team is 12 games back. Whoa.
Never. We still haven't fired the manager.
Yeah, I thought y'all had a new manager that was gonna, change the culture. Yeah.
We got Espanol to his comrades, and
you got rid of the worthless first baseman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't want to pay him.
Teach him how to catch, do the fundamentals. Teach him how to catch ground balls and balls in the air.
Talking interviews.
Yeah. None of that happened, unfortunately. Tony used to be sleeping in the dugout and, maybe nursing a hangover or so, but, they weren't this bad. But this is going to be a historically bad Sox team. And it's going to have to be changes made. It's either in personnel or it's going to have to be in management, or probably both. You got the trade deadline coming up. I don't know.
Y'all need to bring in Shotani, although I want the Cubs to get him. Y'all need to bring in the Asian Babe Ruth, bro.
Yeah. I would have no problem with that. I don't think anybody on the South side would have a problem with that. It'll shore up your pitching staff immediately. And you're bringing in the home run king.
Man.
So, if they can get Reinsdorf or Baby Reinsdorf, whoever is approving the checks over there to get it done, I get it done.
Yeah, you like to give Kenny McReynolds a pass because he got y'all the World Series. Listen, man, I'm ready to strip it all. I don't care if he is melanated. I'm like Stephen A. Smith. First thing I do when I get up in the morning is think about how I can get black people fired. You know what I'm saying? but what I'm saying is
he's got a layer under him. He's got someone he can blame.
Yeah. Listen, he's got a fall guy. I would, because you're probably gonna have a decent draft pick this year. Push that chip to the table, and even another one if you need to. You can have this year's first pick and next year's first pick. Give me Shotani, sign and trade. I can throw in some, players to make the compensation kind of work, and then man, we could build around him. Man, they'll love him on the South Side, bro.
Oh yeah. They become right from the Bridgeport area.
Yeah,
filling up a guaranteed rate field. to see Showtime do his thing. I mean, matter of fact, it'd give me the more games.
Yeah.
See that guy pitching and hitting, every game. So
Man.
It's a move to make. It's a move to make, definitely. That on the north side as well.
Man.
We'll see if anybody's got the cojones to pull it off. Because the Angels got to be selling this guy. The trade deadline's coming up. Somebody's got to get on the phone and make the deal.
I'm gonna tell you who it's gonna be. It's gonna be the Yankees or the Dodgers. This is why these teams are traditionally winning ball games.
Yeah,
because they make moves.
I'm tired of that crap. Yeah, the Yankees, yeah, the Dodgers. They got all the money. They got the networks. They got all this crap.
And we're the third largest market, but we act like we're a little shithole city.
Yeah.
In every sport.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Showtime would be a great addition to either side of town, definitely the south side, right in that area.
So is there anybody you're not willing to add in the package for Showtime if you're taking calls as a White Sox manager?
Can you repeat the record again? 40, 48, 61.
Yeah, there's no prospect that you say, nah, I can't move him for Showtime. You got any prospect like that in your organization?
Are they playing now? They're on the way up?
Yeah, they would probably be on the way up or something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
See, that's stuff we do. We don't want to give up this nonsense player here because he could potentially be, if only he can hit and learn how to feel, he can be Showtime. You know what I mean? Instead of taking the sure thing.
We could bring him up and train him and still have 7 years of control on him.
Yeah.
They like that. We got control of him.
Yeah. But then once he starts putting up numbers, we're not going to want to pay him. You know what I mean?
You're going to have to get rid of him.
Yeah. Let him go for nothing. Right. Right. Well, one thing I wanted to talk baseball, man, Fred McGriff, Crime Dog. A lot of you kids out there don't know that's Crime Dog out there. I'm surprised Pookie and Ray Ray ain't took that name on the block, bro. Nobody called themselves Crime Dog out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but Crime Dog is law enforcement. But still, you could flip that. But Crime Dog, he makes it to White Heaven, bro. He's going to be enshrined into Cooperstown with no logo. First question, does he deserve it? Second question, do you like the no logo? He's not putting any team's logo out yet.
Yeah, pick a team. I mean, if you have the number, the stats, and the criteria to make it to the Hall of Fame, it had to be primarily with at least one team.
Well, he actually talked on that. Those 4 teams, he said his numbers were equal. I still see Crime Dog as a Padres. I would enshrine San Diego. It should be a rule. Your first team, something, because even Greg Maddux did that crap. Greg Maddux ain't in there with the Cubs. Ain't there some stuff?
Well, the Braves.
Yeah, he's butthurt.
Well, I mean, hey, if he feels his stats are the same for the 4 teams, they couldn't negotiate a team to go into the Hall of Fame with his bust, then hey, it is what it is. But
yeah,
I would assume, or I would probably mandate that a player pick at least one team that he excelled with to go into the Hall of Fame. And I don't understand that. Maybe he can go in as a Cub.
I watched him in the interview, bro, and he said like it was almost the same, equal years. He said his stats was about the same and everything, bro. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, well, you put it that way. Same thing with Maddux. Maddux didn't win really with the Cup as far as chips and all that, but you looked at his numbers, he was a dog in both uniforms, bro.
Yeah. I mean, he did get a chip with the Braves, but I figured he wouldn't wear the Cubs uni because they didn't want to pay him, and they should have paid him whatever the hell they wanted.
Whatever the hell he wanted.
You had a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Whatever he wanted.
36.5 million. I think it was like, when it came down to it was like $500,000 difference.
That's the same. It's always like that in Chicago.
Yeah.
Bro. You know what I'm saying? And when you put that in, every man's terms, you're talking about, you got a great employee and he's looking at $25 an hour and you want to pay him $23.50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't hire him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was one of the worst moves in
baseball history.
Yeah, baseball history. I was about to say Cubs history. It kind of made me stop watching them back in the day. Because of course I was a Cubs watcher after school. The guy I used to go to his house after school before my parents came home. Either him or your grandparents or wherever else you went to, the Cubs game was on.
Yeah, because it was daytime. Right.
It was daytime baseball.
It was before all those daytime shows was on, and everybody just had the Cubs on in the background, whether they was watching the game or not.
Yeah. You hear Harry Carey getting drunk, enjoying the game, or
talking about all the drop dead calling it. He never said it about a black man. I swear, if you could find where Harry Carey had a black player up there and started drinking his beers and talking about how gorgeous he dropped it. Handsome young man. Harry boy.
Look at the Jerry curl he's sporting today. And it's quite liquidy. It's quite juicy.
Like a Harry boy. Handsome young man. I think Harry should have been on one of those lists, man. You know what I mean? Because handsome young man, drop dead gorgeous. Harry, rest his soul, boy. I'd have loved to have him on the show. He'd have loved me, boy. Drop dead gorgeous. You know what I mean?
Well, it's cool as long as you didn't touch him like most of these coaches and hazers are doing nowadays.
Yeah, they said that Northwestern bum incident, they said it's a lot going on in the female program too, bro. I guess they're gonna blame Fitzgerald for that too. I guess he knew about that too, huh?
Yeah, he talked to the female head coach of the lacrosse team, and she told him, "Hey, I'm doing the same thing. It's making my team better."
Yeah, I mean we're consulting with Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to talk about Peyton Manning. We don't let him forget. Yeah,
he was tired. Yeah. But I mean it's crazy that this it's such a story at the university and everybody knew, but now all of a sudden, you want to fire coaches and shut down programs and give Northwestern the death penalty and stop building the football stadium. What the hell does that got to do with anything? I mean, you knew what was going on. The AD knew what was going on. Everybody knew what was going on, and now you're crossing over to female sports. Somebody higher than Fitzgerald has to go. And if the AD want to sit back on his high horse and blame just the head coach of these particular sports, then the president has to jump in. The president of the university, the governor, they're a private institution, or the head of the Big Ten, or somebody else has had to jump in and figure out what bum incident, how far it has gone through Northwestern, and probably question the entire Big Ten. But they got that big TV contract, so I think they're gonna make Northwestern
sweep it out of the
land. Yeah,
they're probably looking for a reason to get rid of Northwestern anyway, since they added these West Coast teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bringing in your UCLA's and your USC's, and you kick Northwest, you put them right in the Pac-10, send them out, send them out to the left coast. Absolutely, they got the money, they can travel.
All right, well. Melanated Swimming, a short history, plus hot weekly's political topics. You guys can always pull up. The link is pinned in the chat. All right, no quarter black of the week. Well, it's always just in time. I will say this: he showed up to the what do you call that? Voluntary workouts, and now the rookies have reported he showed up to rookie camp just in time.
Just in time on the win.
Well, this is the guy they say, I forgot the guy's name.
Heard.
Went out there on the limb and said, when Justin, when they were devaluing him in the pre-draft, said he was the last to show up and the first to leave and question his work ethic. Bro, I've seen nothing but the opposite. Even his college coach was saying, no, it's the opposite of that with this kid.
Right.
On every level, every camp he went to, Ace high school, he worked harder than everybody. But yet, these people can come out. I think somebody needs to start filing lawsuits against these people, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he went back and got his degree, had the president of the team there to witness him graduating. And
you see his big ass dad, his X12, ain't nowhere in the hell this dude is lazy.
Yeah, right.
Nowhere in the hell.
Right. So, he's working his bum off to become that quarterback that we thought he would become. And he just made the statement the other day that he vows to be the first quarterback in Bears history to throw 4,000 yards.
Well, he's got an extra game to do it. And then some of those guys only played 14 games, but and he's playing 17. But that being said, he will do that and definitely bear down. But so he's my quarterback of the week. You got any?
No. I'm always adjusting to bear down. I don't know about his one of his wide receivers, but hopefully that's just propaganda that they got against him too. The guy we gave away the second round pick for
Claypool. Yeah, they don't like him. He's a little smug in interviews. I like him. I like the way he handles the press, but I don't think he respects the Chicago press. You know what I mean? And,
right.
Because they ask dumbass questions, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And so they've been kind of going after him, like he's Pookie off New Jack City. Like, what this guy do to everybody?
Well, I think they're trying to fault him for being he's answering questions like he's drop dead gorgeous, and they really don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
Melanated player.
Yeah.
So you're over there in Fashion Week. How'd that work out for you? Worked out fine, you son of a gun. That's what I went over there for. But now you're on the pup list. Did you get hurt walking the runway? And no, I didn't.
You idiot.
But hopefully he rounds back into shape by the time the season comes around. He'll give somebody else a shot at working his routes while he's on the pup list during games. And hey, maybe we'll have a plethora of wide receivers as opposed to the groups that we've had over the last few years. So, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint in football. And if these reporters don't know that, they should.
Yeah, but they got him on the pup list, but it's preseason pup list. So as long as they get him off the pup list before the season starts, because if they wait till then, it'll be 6 weeks before he can come back. So you can easily be able to, anticipate, okay, he might be back week 1, week 2. So we'll take him off the pup list before. Right. But he'd have to be able to pass a physical. It's a soft tissue issue.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. They're trying to come off like this kid, don't care about football. And we'll see, we'll see. I'm not hanging my hat on Chase Claypool.
No. We hope he makes the draft position capital that we spent on him viable. And he was available, so he's not a number one receiver. But when it gets to when we got DJ Moore and Mooney and Claypool and some of these rookies out there that are learning the game out there, because he's a body for the running game too. I think it'll all be fine. I'm pretty sure it'll all be fine. We're not in the position we were last year. This year you got a number one. You got a number 2 in Mooney, and you got some rookies and some other players to bring along, as well as another viable tight end. So get ready.
But here's the thing about Mooney. Mooney ain't on the pup list.
No.
He had shattered his ankle. Right.
He had the more catastrophic injury. And he's ready to play.
Soft tissue. This is sounding a little Lonzo Ballish.
He can't walk up the stairs without being in pain.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're using the same doctors as the Chicago Bulls are to get these guys ready for games.
Wouldn't surprise me. You got anything from the NBA?
Yeah. The
National Flopping Association.
God bless the Bulls. Yeah, I mean, they haven't been taking any calls. Zach LaVine still
haven't been making any calls.
Well, I mean, it's got to be somebody calling the Bulls about Zach LaVine. But you got to make some calls. You got to get this guy out of town. There's some players available. Put together a package. Miami's rumored to be putting together a package with everybody, for Dame Lillard to Zach LaVine. So,
LaVine will fit nicely with Miami.
You think you'd be okay with Jimmy Buckets? Jimmy Buckets don't like soft players.
Don't get me started on Jimmy Buckets, man. Don't get me started on him. You know what I mean? I swear the local media went on him. He signed that bag, and everybody around him said he changed as soon as he signed that big contract. He likes to talk about how the rich players were hazing him when he came to the Bulls and all of that. And then he got his big contract, and he said he became a super douchebag. Kids, don't let the money change you. You know
did the same thing. He did the same thing when he got the bag. He became a super douchebag.
Yeah. So, he's a two-way player though. Gotta tip my hat to him. But I think LaVine will fit in good. I mean, some of that stuff that Max Strus and all of them were doing, because they weren't really D'ing up. So you add LaVine in there, man, and come playoff time, I think that'll be, man, if they can end up with LaVine and Dame, I don't think they got the money. But if they can end up with both of them, that's a big three.
Yeah. That's a luxury tax buster there, buddy.
Yeah.
With LaVine and Dame
but greasy hair Pat Riley, he like chips. He's still trying to beat Phil Jackson out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean he got Kareem and Magic and Kobe, and was he there with Kobe? No, he wasn't there with Kobe.
But Worthy and
they had ball players in LA before he left and decided to start all over in Miami. And he brought Shaq to Miami. He had D Wade and LeBron. So he's got
the Knicks didn't win one, but they couldn't because they was going up against the GOAT.
Yeah.
But they had, he put together a decent team there.
Yeah, I mean they were contenders. If they could have went about it the way the Pistons would, I think they would have got them a chip. With the trying to kill Jordan as opposed to playing ball. Yeah. But once the Pistons got away with it, it was over with. So they wanted to be rough with money, but after he got through Detroit, there was nothing the Knicks could do, and they weren't as downright dirty as the.
I don't think they hated them. They didn't have a little prick. You know what I mean? It's the captain of their team that just absolutely hated MJ. Like they would talk like Starks. They respected MJ. Yeah.
Well, they respected the game, and I don't think the Pistons really respected the game. They would do anything. They were some There was some thugs.
Yeah,
They would-
Bill Lame Beer. They used to call him Lame Beer too during some of the games. You know what I'm saying? They should have. You know what? Old Milwaukee's Best should have. He should have been their biggest sponsor. Lame Beer. Big ups to Old Milwaukee. We ain't trying to.
Oh, Milwaukee's Best.
Piss in a can.
Yeah.
Better drinking Coke.
Because if it turns hot, it's straight. I can't say that on YouTube, but yeah, those were the days. But yeah, there's I don't think they respected the game. They thought they were a championship team. They thought they were great, but you know, it was just based on their thugness, their thuggishness that got them those 2 chips, I believe, and kept Jordan out of the conference finals. Because the Bulls were right there, even those couple of years. And if they would have made it to the finals, they would have won those chips too. And people don't talk about that. But you know, it was still Jordan. And if they would have got over to that, you know, to those West Coast teams, they would have won those championships too. So.
Yeah, man. I said it during the time. I was telling y'all, boy, I remember I was like, man, money needs to. I was like, when money stepped away, I'm like, man, this is going to affect his legacy. Tori was like, nah, man, ain't no way. I'm like, man, if Jordan would have got that 8, and I said he could have got 9, you know, especially the way they ended at the end, because they still could have won when they broke it up with Phil Jackson and all that.
Yeah. They didn't want to pay all that money.
Yeah, I had him at 9, you know, and if Jordan had 9 chips, but, you know, you wonder, though, if Jordan had those 9 chips and 9 or 8 MVPs, maybe Pip would have got a final MVP. You know, I wonder if these idiots would still be talking about LeBron as a potential GOAT. They probably would, but it'll be more moronic, I think.
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, the banter would be like, Jordan might have won 9, but LeBron's been to 10, 11 NBA finals.
Yeah, that's what they be spending it, bro. They like, he took 3 different teams to the finals. I'm like, man, don't nobody care about that shit, man.
No, man, we talking about winning. You got a chance to win the chip, and you get 4 out of 10. 4 out of, no.
And Jordan played with the cards he was dealt.
Yeah, he didn't take his talents to wherever the hell he wanted to.
No,
to the Knicks,
to the Pistons.
Yeah, he definitely could have easily waited out his contracts, because his contracts weren't paying him anything.
Correct.
Yeah, so he could have been like, yeah, I'm not re-signed.
I'm taking my talents to LA Lakers. You know, like all these, like everybody does. You know, Mike didn't. That's one thing you respect about Mike. He didn't get caught up in that. Oh, I want to live in LA. You know, LA's a beautiful city and all this and that. He stayed in the shot, bro.
I'm sure I got a 50,000 square foot house that I still can't sell in Chicago, and you know, I love it there. And that's where I met the wife of my children's, and you know, I'm gonna make it happy here in Chi.
Well, it's a dirty house, so unless you can find another dirty melanated person to want to live there, out there in Highland Park, you know what this is. So I'm telling you, man, if he was drop dead gorgeous, that house would have been sold. So if I would tell Mike, raise the property, tear it down, you know, keep it fenced in, and sell the property itself, sell the real estate, you know, and get up from under it.
Yeah. I mean, he's a billionaire now. I really don't think he cares. We might as well, to piss him off even more, just make it into the Michael Jordan Museum.
Yeah.
And I'd be traipsing people in and out of there all damn day and all.
Oh, they'd be getting their money, boy. Those kids, yeah, they'd be getting that money. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Come and walk on the court that Jordan practiced in between games. See the bed he slept in and blah blah blah. Oh boy.
Well, you're making a point. That crib should definitely be a landmark. I mean, we still, you know, when I was in Baltimore, you know, we went by the house that Babe Ruth grew up in. I guess that's different than the house Mike grew up in, but yeah, they could still memorialize that house. I mean, this is a legend, bro. Like, it should be landmark. It should be a national landmark at this point. You know, even if it's not a museum per se, that should be adding to the value. Like, I don't know what these Jay-Z's and all these people, all this money are doing that they don't want the house that Mike lived in, bro.
You know, people don't live in probably that area. Is it Deerfield?
Yeah, I think it's Deerfield or Highland Park. It's all in, yeah.
Yeah,
it's Deerfield, though. I think it is.
Like
Deerfield.
Mr. T was out there in Lake Forest and cut the trees down so he could see. Let's see what's going on.
On his own property, yeah.
On his own property. And Mike left Chicago, so they might be feeling bum hurt in some kind of way about that. But hey, even his kids don't want to live there, so I don't know what's going on. They want to live somewhere warm. He's a warm weather cat. So why the hell would he stay in Chicago?
Yeah, he should maybe make his son and Larsa Pippen live in the house. You know what I mean? Let Pip stay in the guest house at time to time when he's busy.
For the kids. But money. He's not coming back here. If he does, he doesn't want to stay out there. He can stay in a hotel and do his thing, but he rarely even comes back to Chicago anymore. So,
Hey, so I saw a poll. It was 2 polls, the same poll on 2 different channels. And it was which duo is the greatest of all time? Kobe Bean and Shaq, or Mike and Pip. One poll was 51 to 49% in favor of Kobe Bean and Shaq. Another poll was 60-40 in favor of Jordan and Pip. I know I'm biased here, but how could this even be a question?
Yeah, because they only won
3 together.
And they were fighting all the time.
And they was using our offense and patterning their game after Michael Jordan.
They had the Phlegm Master over there, so
Well, you don't know what's in his heart.
Yeah, well, we definitely don't know what's in his heart. But what can they do? They it depends on where the poll was sent to, but there's no way you can compare a Jordan Pippen to a Kobe Shaq, except if you live in LA and was there during that era. But
I was in LA during that era, and I was in Chicago during that era. I saw them both. You know what I'm saying? And they're both great, but it comes down to both of them in their prime with Phil Jackson coaching. It would have came down to hack a Shaq, and then Kobe rest his soul, forcing his game and going up against Mike. And I just think that at the end of the day, the Bulls, with D-Rod, and all that, I think the Bulls would have beat that team, man, in a 7-game series. Bottom line, and I don't see it going 7. It probably would have went 5 or 6.
Yeah, because you're gonna put your Ed Neely's out there and those your Luke Longleys and those guys out there to get those fouls against the Diesel. And keep
what shithole country is Luke from?
Australia.
Oh, okay. It's not a shithole. It's a Western.
Yeah. He's down there doing well in real estate. He's buying properties and buying hotels and buying. Yeah, he's doing well. He took his American-made money that he stole from the NBA and the Bulls, and I can't say he stole. He
stole it. Phil Jackson loved those big bums because that's what he was a big pink bum when he was in the league.
But he wasn't on bed rest.
Yeah, but he was psychological, mental. Something mental. He was soft in his heart.
Oh yeah, he was from Australia. But yeah, he took that money down to Australia, and he's doing well in the real estate game. I guess, and he's got a name. I guess he played with Michael Jordan, former world champion.
Well, he's respectful. He's never said nothing bad about Mike. He knows where his bread was buttered. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and if he doesn't, then somebody need to put him in a slapping machine. But 95% of those guys that Money played with know where their bread was buttered. Scottie Pippen feels that these Jordan's equal or better, and
he feels like he's
course,
better. Scottie
yeah,
said he was better than Mike.
he was better. Yeah, he come from a shithole state. As the damn team's manager, and you're playing alongside a Superman, and all of a sudden you're a greater player than Superman. Come on.
And as Mark said, Money forced this game. Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this. He had some games, right? But I'm saying, Ace, we all ball. And when I played with cats who forced their game and they wasn't getting no W's, hey man, this shit you're doing ain't working.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if I play with a cat like Mike and he want to shoot 30 times a game, but he's a dog and he's playing dog on defense and he's finishing ball games and we're winning 70 to 75% of our games. Hey man, do that shit. I'll find my way.
I'm finna adjust either on offense and defense.
Man.
To accentuate what the hell you're doing.
Man, this dude was the first one at practice, the last to leave. Hey, man, I ain't got no right.
Yeah,
Pip said Mike was forced because Pip didn't have a game he could force.
No, no, all of his game was off of Mike. And I people keep talking about all these skills that Scottie had, and how he was, I think it was John Sally and Rodman, how he was such a greatly skilled player at 6'9", and he would be killing in this games today. But if I was out there with a guy that was getting triple teamed, and I was 6'9", could dunk and dribble
with that athleticism, man,
yeah, I'll be out there looking like Michael Jordan too. To myself, I mean, but you'd have been looking
like your boy who was on the Booger Sugar for the Phoenix Suns. They used to put his thumb up.
Richard Dumas.
Richard Dumas, and that's what Pip should have been giving us, bro, with that defense.
Yeah. But you got a guy out there who you got to at least double team, and when he gets hot, you got to triple team this guy. So the rest of you bums are running around wide open the entire game,
and don't know when to flash to the basket in that triangle and get you some dunks and layups.
For years they running around wide open. Not games. I'm talking about years. These guys are running around wide open while the other team is trying to figure out how to stop this other guy from killing him.
And Scottie never learned how to catch and shoot.
No.
You playing with Michael Jordan and you don't develop the catch and shoot game.
Yeah. Steve Kerr still living off that shit.
Man, John Paxson, I would have been working with Paxson. If I'm a Pip type, I'm going to be you, Pat, at 6'9", with athleticism and defense.
Yeah. Paxson had no problem. I want to get out the way. I'll hack whoever y'all need me to hack.
Yeah, he knew when to foul. Yeah, he sure did. Pax wasn't giving up. He wasn't no punk out there. Big ups to John Paxson.
I hack whoever the hell you need me to hack. I'm gonna go.
I liked him at Notre Dame, bro. I was a Notre Dame fan. And Kelly Tripucka and all them. Yeah. I forgot who the coach was, man. Digger Phelps. Sounds like N-word. Yeah. Digger of the week.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly. I was done with Kelly Tripucka when he tried to chase Mike down the court, and Mike rose up on him and dunked on his back. Yeah,
that's because they were tough. Danny Ainge came out of that program, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were tough.
Yeah,
they were the Celtics of the
of the NCAA.
Yeah. You remember they used to cheat for him when they played against DePaul in the tournament. Yeah. They used to cheat for him. Give them all the call.
They're gonna cheat for him anywhere they played.
Well, the NCAAs didn't like Ray Meyer. He was kind of like the precursor to Jerry Tarkanian.
Yeah, he's running around with all these thugs and criminals.
Yeah, they didn't show up to class. Teddy Grubbs exposing himself at the library.
Couldn't read. No, yeah, all that. Yeah. But
But he
yeah,
was taking the kids out the hood.
yeah, I mean, he took them from the north side all across the country.
And Isaiah went and played. Can you imagine? Isaiah went and played at Indiana, this little prick. Can you imagine if Isaiah would have went and played for Coach Raymond, the point guard we needed all that time, as opposed to what's his name that couldn't shoot, had handles? Kenny Patterson. You replaced Kenny Patterson with Isaiah Thomas Ace. Can you imagine?
Yeah, man. Well, Coach Knight came into my house and he impressed my mom. And
he stuck his thumb up my bum.
Up his bum.
Yeah, he threw a chair at my dad.
You son of a gun. I mean, because everybody was there. But he wasn't that type of cat. He went from the west side out to St. Joseph's and West.
And his high school coach got a check from Indiana for feeding him into their program. That kid. Remember, his high school coach was buddies with Bobby Knight, so it was a whole lot of bullshit going on. But I don't know how he walked away from DePaul. Great academic institution. You're only gonna be there for 1 or 2 years, man. DePaul we'd probably got 2 chips, bro.
Oh yeah, because him at the point, those guys he was passing to,
Big Mark. You know what I'm saying?
TC. Yeah, man, come on.
Zeke was a dog on D2. He had a shot. Yeah, that would have took us, boy, because we was already going undefeated up to the finals. We needed that point guard in the NC2As to get us.
And DePaul will still be on the map from those championships instead of what they're going through right now. As a city school now, they would have the dorms and they always had the academics. But
And Isaiah wonders why the city of Chicago loves Mike more than him.
Right.
I tell you why, Mike stayed in his home state when he played college ball. You didn't. You went to a KKK state and played.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe Chicago would love you more, Isaiah, had you gone to UIC or Northwestern, but mainly we're talking DePaul and got us a chip or 2. Maybe Chicago would love you.
Right. Instead of listening to the MAGA coach that got you out there at Indiana University, you could have been right here in the city. You're so concerned with your family and mom, and you'd have been right here in Chicago, which driving whatever your Blazer or whatever the boosters was given at that time, and then a couple of years you'd have been out of there. You'd have been in the NBA. So
Man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's a fantasy. Boy, that would have been nice if that Mark was at DePaul. I honestly would have a different respect for him today.
Yeah, well, we don't know what was in his heart.
He's just one of those little pricks. They want to live in Chicago, and it's like AD. They want to be Packers fans. One of those types.
Right.
They live on a block full of vice lords, but they want to be a GD. You know what I'm saying? Just one of those guys.
Yeah. What did he say? He was protecting Mike. His brother was protecting Mike on the west side because he told him to.
Man, Mike had real security. Goofy.
And he wasn't driving around those areas.
Well, he had to get to the stadium, but you trying to tell me the CPD wasn't protecting Mike? You trying to tell me Reinsdorf didn't have a security detail around Mike? And Mike was loved in the city. He got a pass.
Yeah. He slowed traffic down like the president. Anytime I saw him on the damn E-way.
Every time I saw him and Pip, bro, I'd be sitting in traffic and I saw them multiple times because I used to work out that way. And there comes speeding past on the shoulder, bro, doing like 100. See that Fear 33 or that MJ 23 on the place? You be like, oh, that was MJ, man. Like that was Pip, man. Speeding on the shoulder. I mean, today if one of these young players did that, if Pookie Morant did that, bro, they be talking about reckless driving. He could endanger people. He's a role model. Nike won't like it. Yeah.
Suspended license, no insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Michael Jordan. It's Pippen. Let him move around.
Right. It got the pass. You want us to put our resources into escorting them, or you need to get out the damn way?
I think
For
that's
sure.
another reason Mike stayed in the city too. He was like, man, it's sweet because our media wasn't exposing him and following. You didn't have that paparazzi like in LA where they, look at him, he's doing booger sugar. You know what I mean? You didn't have that. Yeah, no.
Look at Mike tricking. Yeah, no. He was Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
I think he just opened another restaurant, bro. I don't know if you heard about it. It ain't in Chi, I don't think, but Mike, he opened a restaurant concept or something.
Oh yeah, I know you still got a steakhouse out here on the Burbs, but yeah, I know I didn't hear about him opening another. But why not? Somebody just using his name to get rich.
Yeah, I remember, boy. Get out the way. I remember, boy. Look at that.
Yeah.
Walked right out of there, boy. Walked right out of there with it. I think Mike was there today. I went. I'm not sure, but man, it would have been nice if I could have got him to sign it. Yeah, I'm thinking this, Mike. Yeah.
Juanita's macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese. That shit was awful. That's why he went out of business. He should have used his mama's macaroni and cheese. She was down there in the South, dark skin. You know what I'm saying? You know her
cooking up a storm.
Yeah.
You know why Juanita never cooked a damn thing in her life.
Yeah, that shit was horrible. It wasn't like our mac and cheese. I don't even think it was baked. Like, man, that was some bullshit. But let's get back to the topic. All right.
Shout out Juanita.
Shut up. Big ups, Juanita. Big ups. I saw her on Lakeshore Drive, bro. I was driving a bucket. Yeah, I was like,
hey.
But that was Mike. You know what I'm saying? That's Mike's baby. So y'all don't understand the respect we had for the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, I didn't think it was possible. But then you know what you know when you know it. But I'm like, man, that's Mike. And it was playoff time too. I'm like, I can't be the guy.
No, I can't.
Piss Mike off where he lost shit. I'd have been a pariah in the city of Chicago.
Yeah. You had to move to LA.
Yeah, I had to move to LA.
Detroit.
All right, but Saquon Barkley. Now, we've been talking about on this network and on this podcast about the devalued running back. You're starting to see the national media talk about it because it's some bullshit. These guys are bell cows. They're getting the majority of the work out there, but yet somehow we let these people manipulate our brains into underpaying the guys who are literally doing the most damn work and taking the highest freaking risk.
Absolutely.
So now, Saquon, though, potential holdout. He dropped the Giants from the social media. That's a big deal from his generation. When you stop following people and all that, you know what I mean? You might as well have shot him in the face, stood over. Are you taking calls? Because I've been saying, he'd be nice with the Bears. But seriously, are you taking calls right now? Are you making calls for Saquon Barkley right now?
Yeah, I'm emptying out the running back room. They're so high. They're so high on this guy from Texas. I'm putting him in there
with the rookie we had last year that everybody likes.
Herbert
and Roshan, and that's about it. Maybe you can get a draft pick too. You can get a draft pick and then sign and trade.
Chase Claypool. I'll give him a wide receiver too.
Yeah, you're right. It can help their drop dead gorgeous quarterback. Yeah. Because they want to build it around him, obviously.
If you're not going to pay Saquon Barkley to get the deal done before training camp, you got to be nuts.
Bro, the Bears got the money. This guy, he passes. I mean, he could block, he could pass, he can run. He's like a Walter Payton out there. We've talked about it. Yeah. But yes, move some. The running back room is already overloaded. Move some of those. Let this guy be your bell cow, you know, and offer a draft pick and pay him because we got the money and he's young. He fits all of our demographics, bro.
Yeah, he's right in that 26-year-old free agent, age range that the Bears have been picking up this year.
He's in a zone running system.
Yeah, and you can keep trashing Edwards if you clear out
It's your boy trashed it.
and you clear out the running back room.
You clear out the running back room, you start, hey, I can't do this deal unless y'all taking trash in there. I'm glad you mentioned it. This deal ain't gonna get done unless Trashton's involved.
He's the linchpin, Trashton Edwards, so there's no Saquon Barkley.
Well, they'd be talking to me, why didn't you pull the trigger? They didn't want to take Trashton.
Why'd you just cut him?
Right. Yeah. Because the city loves him for some reason. You know, he's great in the preseason, which is starting in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Get ready. I gotta check with the Bears or the NFL, see how to get the credentials for going to the Saints game this year in New Orleans.
Yeah, that should be fun. That should be fun, bro.
Yeah,
it's always a good time in New Orleans. You know what I mean?
It's a good time in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I can't wait till the Super Bowl gets there next year. So we got Vegas this year and New Orleans next year. We'll have everything squared away about the crack staff and the credentials by the New Orleans Chicago Bears Super Bowl. So be ready.
Definitely let me know when you're doing Vegas, man. You know, I could hop in a rental and drive across that desert.
Yeah. Well, we're buying the ticket. Got the flight there tickets for the Super Bowl. We just got to.
The Super Bowl's in Vegas this year.
Yeah. So we're gonna get the credentials, and we're gonna be in a press conference with TATN asking the questions that the people want to know.
Yeah,
so get ready, folks.
The people want to know, right?
Yeah.
You know?
This ain't that network. So be watching, Coach. We'll be at the Super Bowl Media Day this year.
Let me ask you. You know, you're a union guy. You're from the city of Chicago. You know, Jimmy Hoffa, and it goes on and on.
But 73.
Yeah. Well, yes. So, is the NFL Players Union letting the running backs down? Like, I almost feel like the running backs should have their own separate union.
Is it a real union? Is what you're asking?
Yeah. Are they colluded?
They got to be colluding with the owners. Well, technically, they're saying at worst for Saquon, they'll have to throw the franchise tag on him for what, I guess $17 million for the season.
Yeah, he's not going to play for that. He's going to hold out.
Right. So, but it's the deal that everybody agreed to. The players, the owners agreed to the franchise tag to stop themselves from overbidding on players. But there's got to be some progression from that, you know, with the national media and the ownership and everybody pushing this narrative that the running backs are a dime a dozen nowadays.
But they're not. There are some dime a dozen ones, and then there's some Saquon Barkleys.
Well, there's winning teams and then there's losing teams.
Right.
So, right.
You get a guy who you drafted number 1 overall or 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then you want to pay the quarterback who was drafted down in the like, why draft a player that high if you don't want to ultimately pay him what he's worth? Like, everybody knew what he was coming out. I remember saying, I don't know who I forgot who it was a quarterback or somebody. I'm like, man, it's hard to pass up on Saquon Barkley because just from the eye test, bro, watching him play football. And we watch a lot of good running backs. Tony Dorsett, Walter Payton, Earl Campbell. He was just a horse. He was just a big horse.
Yeah. And Saquon's been through that major injury already. Man, he's come back stronger than ever.
He got the big thighs. He got a crazy workout everybody talks about. It's all Peyton-esque.
Yeah. So, I mean, Well, he doesn't have Peyton's number, but man, if he wanted it, damn it. If that's part of the deal.
I think Walter Payton wouldn't even roll over in his grave if the Payton family allowed him to wear that jersey. But if I'm Saquon, I wouldn't wear it. But here's the thing. I'll tell you like this. I've called you Big Perk on this show because you're 14-3 take. If we sign Saquon Barkley, I would agree with you, and I would say 14-3 all day. And the Bears fans may have to start considering Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah,
you couldn't tell me nothing. You could talk about the D line all you want.
All that bullcrap.
Man,
how the hell can you stop the running game with just in time?
RPO,
Saquon Barkley, RPO. You got
DJ Moore.
You got the 2 tight ends out there.
Short up your offensive line. Short it up.
Yeah. I mean, they'd be. You'd have to develop a defense to find a way to keep them from gouging you, because there's no way you could stop all phases of the offense with those weapons coming at you for an entire game. And
the Giants used a gimmick offense with Saquon and got to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have, and Daniel Jones was a rushing quarterback, and he don't run a 4-4 or 4-3-4 40.
No. Yeah, he should have been killed out there a couple times last year. Even that crap even worked on the Bears when they played him last year.
Yeah.
But you'd have to get your Super Bowl tickets, I think, for the next couple of years. Since KC's out there in the AFC, it'd be the Bears versus Sideshow Bob for the next couple of Super Bowls. Get ready. Yeah.
And his intangibles off the chart. Like, this guy's a leader of men, bro. You never heard anything negative about Saquon, bro.
No. So I mean that's another reason why it's surprising that they don't want to pay him. They don't want to get their offense together and going for the season, because eventually you gotta do something. You gotta pay him or you gotta trade him. And there's no way you want to trade him because you're not gonna get the value, and he's not gonna pay for the damn franchise tag. So make the guy happy, pay him, and let's play football. You're in the biggest market in the damn world. So pay the man. That's all.
Sign and trade him. Sign and trade him to our Bears.
Right to Chicago. We'll take him.
Ryan Poles, if you're listening, I know you like taking calls like Ace. Pick up the phone, call the New York Giants, offer a package with Trashton. What's the guy's name? You just mentioned him. He was our rookie from last year, running back.
Khalil Herbert.
And this new rookie we just got, Roshan Johnson.
Robinson out of not Bijan.
Roshan.
Is that
something?
Roshan?
Yeah, Roshan.
Whoever's not going to be here much longer if we get a package together.
Package all of that. Even with one of these
Barkley.
first round picks y'all got, sign and trade, and let's get Saquon in the building.
Yeah, and we can't figure that out. I don't know. Pay him a boatload of money up front on a signing bonus and make his contract team friendly, and let's get him in the building.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you want to upload it early, that's fine. That's how Poles likes to move. Look, listen, I can give him 5 years on a player-friendly deal if that's what it took to get him. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. I watched that guy in college. I watched this guy in the pros. Like, yeah, he had some injuries, but he's beyond all that. Like, I think it's disingenuous to play a violent sport like the NFL and then have the owner say, well, you're hurt all the time. It's not like you're on bed rest.
Right. And you got your quarterback in his prime. People are running around worried about signing Cole Kmet and Mooney. or Claypool. Who gives a damn? If you can get a Saquon Barkley in here, the money's still going to be there to sign whoever, and whoever's got to go, that's fine. But yeah.
And then players around the league will take your organization more seriously, and they'll say, man, I can play on a veterans minimum and come play with this team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Win me a chip. It look like they're about to win about 4 out of the next 5 chips. So yeah.
And you guys, a chip in Chicago, what he's talking about, there's chips, and then there's chips in Chicago. People got to understand. You win a chip in Chicago, your money's no good here.
No good. Ever again. Those guys from 85 still aren't paying for meals.
Showing up at Jackie Robinson Russ games, not paying for nothing.
Those guys show up wherever they go. They're the kings of the ball, you know.
Man, drinks on me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let me buy you a drink, bro. Right.
It's been almost 40 damn years since that Super Bowl, and they still
man.
They still can't pull any money out of their pocket and buy dinner or drinks anywhere in the city of Chicago.
And we're the first to talk about it. So if it happens, we've been talking about this, Saquon in the Chicago Bears uniform. I think there's not a better fit anywhere. But the thing about it is the Giants are going to look to trade him to the AFC.
I don't think that'd be the consideration if they can get the right package. I mean, the Bears got the draft picks. They got personnel we can trade them. Trade them to also. And if you believe in Daniel Jones that much, make the deal. And let's make it happen. Let's get him on the phone and let's make it happen.
Was Daniel Jones in the same draft as Justin Fields?
No, I think he's before Justin Fields. And they just paid him. I think it was like a year.
I think he was a year before.
Before Justin time. Yeah. So
yeah, you're right. He was a 6 overall. Josh Allen was selected 7th by the Jags. And TJ Hawkinson was 8th by the Detroit.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what the Giants are doing. You got so much invested in Saquon, and he's told you he's not going to play for the tag. So, you know, make it happen. Whatever you got to do. And it's not like they've got much talent after him to do anything. Definitely not in the wide receiver room and not in the running backs room. So.
I bet you if he was drop dead gorgeous, he'd have been signed. If they had my man, who I love, they'd have gave him
McCaffrey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the 49ers didn't say, Christian, we devalued the running back position. They traded for that guy, brought him right on in and gave him a big, huge ass contract. And, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they haven't been looking back ever since. They're there. They're there every year. So, yeah, I don't understand what the Giants are doing. They got their own TV network, their whole, all of these teams revenue share. They get all this damn money from the TV contract of the NFL. They got a big, huge stadium that they share the cost with the damn Jets with. What's the problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like their quarterback is a generational player, where he would have to be generational. I'm talking like Peyton Manning generational for this to even make any sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like Daniel Jones's game personally, but I don't see him as generational, bro.
Yeah, I think it's just ego or power move on the Giants' part. It's got to be to not find a way to put a deal together for Saquon and get him paid and get him in a training camp, which is coming up soon, next week.
Yeah.
So I don't understand it on the Giants' part because past him, you don't have much talent offensively besides your quarterback. And everybody else is open or available to catch or run, or, the offense is only viable because Saquon is there. Now you want to run Daniel Jones out there with some
all those trick packages ain't gonna work the same.
Hell no.
Without Saquon.
You want to run him out there with the second and third string running back and tell me how long that guy's going to last this season. I'll be curious to see what happens. But, it all works because of Saquon. And if they don't know that, then,
Well, in 2018, Cleveland, who has a history of running backs, they decided to take Baker Mayfield number 1 overall. And the Giants took Saquon number 2 overall. Sam Darnold went number 3 overall. Denzel Ward went number 4. Bradley Chubb number 5. Your Bears, that was the season we got Roquan. Josh Allen went picked before Roquan at 7.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We already know the Bears don't know what the hell they're doing as far as quarterback is concerned. If you could add Josh Allen or
he went before us, but I don't think we had any interest in Josh Allen.
No, or Sideshow Bob or Handy J, they had no interest in. When they wanted the guy with the damn Camry.
The Eagles quarterback, they had no interest in him.
Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round. Yeah.
But it's a blessing in disguise because we end up with Hall of Famer Justin Turner.
Yeah. And you got Cole Kmet instead of Jalen Hurts.
All right, let's move ahead, bro. The topic is melanated swimming, a short history. Next hot topic, tragedy. Magic Johnson.
All right.
It slipped out that he's part owner of the Commanders.
All right.
They're asking him if he's going to change the name. And then, so I had to look it up. Like, does he have that power? So he owns 4%. Okay. He owns 4%. He's a 4% owner.
4%.
Yeah. I don't think he's in any position to change any damn names, but we'll see. But so the less obvious question is whether Johnson, who holds only a 4% of the team, will try to have more than 4% of the public and or private influence, which I think he's doing, and whether he'll be spending more than 4% of his own time in active management of the team. So Magic Johnson finally gets into ownership. What's your thoughts on this with the Commanders?
Well, I'm sure he got in at the 4% level to eventually increase his ownership.
So they sold the team for how much? $2 billion?
I think it was $6 billion. Let me look that up.
So 4% of $6 billion, you got to be at like 240 million or something.
Yeah. Magic. I mean, any type of ownership consideration for an NFL franchise. It's bueno because it's just going to keep going up from now until the end of time.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. When they sell that team, it's 4%.
Yeah,
I see your point.
You're looking at even the Serena and Venus, the sisters. The sisters are, their ownership interests are small, and the Dolphins. But with every time a team sells, it's more and more money. So the big example of that was when they offered John Elway ownership interest in the damn Broncos. And he passed
as part of
on
his
it.
Quarterback contract. Yeah.
And he had no interest in it.
He took a Pookie deal. He wanted the cash.
Yeah, he wanted the cash. Yeah, didn't work out for him. So, it worked out. He's still drop
He's
dead
rich,
gorgeous
but
and
yeah.
rich. Yeah, but he could have been richer. And you know, that's not what he wanted to do. So, but 6.05 billion.
So what's
Breaking.
4% of that? Like 240 million? I think that's right.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, somebody just probably went to the bank and signed a loan agreement that I'm gonna be part owner of the Washington Commanders and take out this loan for me, and I'll pay it back in, whenever.
Well, in the NFL, they want to roll around and, act like this is such a big deal. We got blacks in ownership, but I had to look it up. It's 4%. So
it's 4%. I mean,
it's still great, but they're running them around and parading them around the media and talking to him about it. Like,
yeah, he's a real owner.
Or he's at least got closer to real ownership. You know what I mean? I thought he had a bigger ownership stake than 4%, bro.
Yeah. Coming from, what is it? You know how much his Dodgers ownership stake is?
That's a good question. I'm gonna look that up.
Probably 5% or something like that. But,
I never looked that up, but that's like, bro, you get 4% of Harold's Chicken franchise, and then everybody right in front of you asks you, "Are you gonna change the name?" This guy owns 4%. Tell him to shut the fuck up. But I'm gonna see what his stock is. Go ahead, bro. While I'm looking up.
I want to put I'm thinking about putting some new kind of machines in here for soda and
that's about all you got. But we're gonna change the color of the bag, maybe. But I gotta talk to the owners.
You're gonna make it purple and gold, all the Harold's Chicken bags from now on.
Ace, it'd be different if it was a basketball team. Like I don't know what this guy knows about football.
Well, at 4%, he doesn't need to know any damn thing.
Oh, Ace, I'm surprised I didn't look this up before. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This guy, I don't even think he's putting up the money. They putting up the money for him, and we're going to parade you around and make us Ace. I thought he would own more of the Dodgers the way they parade him around here and talk about that.
Yeah.
Big ups to him. Hey, I take 2.3% of the Dodgers. 2.3%.
2.3%. So it's like a Michael Jordan restaurant, his ownership interest in all of these sports teams. They got him walking around smiling.
I mean, 3% is still great. Great point. But I'm saying, Ace, there's got to be pink people who own 3% of these teams, and nobody's heard their names. Nobody talks to them, and nobody asks them, are they going to be making major decisions?
Right. I mean, even those, even the people we took the photo with the Commanders, and he's a 6'9" black guy in the middle, with all these other drop dead gorgeous people in the picture. I'm sure a lot of them own more than 4% of the Commanders.
2.3% of the Dodgers, bro. I never thought to look that up. I thought Magic was in around 20-30 something, man. 2%.
Yeah. Some way he can dictate some terms or because they always say he's recruiting players to come here. He's recruiting players to do that.
Yes.
He's part owner.
And he owns these stakes and teams that he don't know nothing about. Does he own any stake in basketball?
Well, I think he still has a stake in the Lakers. Or did he have to get rid of that?
When did he get a stake in the Lakers? They never gave him a stake. They gave him a 25-year contract, $1 million a year.
I thought he had a stake in the Lakers. A small.
I'm gonna look that up. Maybe they did.
A small 2% stake in the Lakers. But yeah.
How much ownership? Magic.
Or the Star, or he owns the Starbucks and the state.
I have to look up how much ownership he has of that now.
Right. What is it? Cryptocurrency arena now, whatever the hell they call
okay, yeah, he does have stock, Ace. Okay. I mean, hey, he's putting his money in the right. No, he doesn't. Wait. No. He's currently co-owner of the Dodgers. He also owns the LA's WNBA franchise, the Sparks, and the Major League Soccer team. He owns those outright. Well, I have to look that up. And Johnson he owned the 4.5% stake of the Lakers from 94 to 2010. So I think he got bought out when, and because I think I remember that now. You mentioned it. He needed some cash to put into some of his other ventures. Probably the Starbucks and all of that stuff.
Yeah. 4%. 4%.
4.5% of the Lakers, and gave that up.
So that's his modus operandi, 2 to 4% ownership. And I'll take the pictures. I'll recruit him in.
Correct.
Correct. Okay.
Correct. Right. I'll be your poster boy. The emphasis is on boy. But hey, it's a business move. But Ace, let's say if like Coach, he's got a business, and I get 3% of it. Are they going to sit me down and are you changing the name? Yeah, we're changing it to 9 Milz Recovery.
No, they're not going to ask you about any ownership decisions.
Right.
At a 3% ownership clip of a team, especially an NFL franchise and the good old boy network when they got to vote on every damn thing. So there's no way you're going to have any decision making on the name of an NFL.
And it's misleading that the media is asking these questions, which, you know what I'm saying, bro? It made me look it up. I'm like, man, come on, everybody know how business work, bro. Like, that's a whole executive decision. You know, the guy with the 4% stake's going to come here and change the name from, Mouthpiece included to whatever.
Yeah. And you're looking at also, the NFL has to agree to any name changes because they own all the marketing and all of that. They approve all the copyrights for the NFL franchises. So there's no way Magic Johnson is going to come in with his 4% stake in the team and change the name to the Washington Purple and Gold or whatever.
Magic, like it's Magic, baby. I thought, but if they were going to do that, since my man allegedly lost the team due to his racial beliefs, I think. Well, with the Donald Sterling with the Clippers, maybe there was a conflict of interest because he already owned that small percentage in the Lakers, or he was just a slave to wanting to be a Lakers owner. But I thought that would have been a power move where they could have gotten some ownership in the Clippers.
Another 4%.
Ballman told him to take your 4% and shove it up your ass.
Another 4% stake in the Clippers. I mean, come on, man. You talking about the damn Washington Commanders sold for $6.05 billion. The Clippers sold, I think, for about $2 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, come on, Ace. Somebody's got a $300,000 valued house, and I got a 4% stake in it at 12 stacks, and I'm making all the decisions on the remodeling and everything. All the decisions.
Yeah. I want a hot tub and a gazebo in the backyard. And
we're not going to invest in the roof.
I want the hot tub going on. All right. Yeah. But once we get the hot tub set up, then we'll take a look at fixing the roof.
but big solid ups to Magic. I mean, he's doing. Those teams are expensive, and so he's getting what he can get where he can get it. Big ups to him, but small ups to these teams just using them as some sort of poster boy for being black and ownership.
His name, his image, and his likeness.
Yeah. And making him pay for it.
Right. So I mean, it's just does this fulfill some type of minority ownership stake?
I don't know. Why didn't he buy a percentage of Michael Jordan's team when he had a team? If he wanted 4%. Come on, we can give you 4%.
Yeah, money wasn't going to sell to him. 4%.
Take your 4%. You're right.
Shove it right up your ass. That's just what money told him.
Stop taking his calls. All right, but we got FAMU in the news. They had the rapper Rowdy Rich from Florida.
Who?
Yeah, Rowdy Rich. And he made a song that probably the most disrespectful song I ever heard for our culture. And definitely top 5. Seriously. It's got over 400,000, 500,000 views on YouTube now. But him and the FAMU team, they took it upon themselves to go into the locker room and shoot an unauthorized video of this video. Not one of his more positive songs. I mean, Ace, I know you're a free-thinking parent, but if you heard this song playing, which you're not going to play, you would tell your kids, man, cut that shit off. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to hear this. Right. And I mean, we listen to NWA, you know, like I listen to some of the worst when it comes to anti-culture, if you look at it. But no, this is awful. So he sat there and they had the team jerseys on with the Nike logos in FAMU's locker room, shot this whole video. Yeah, I did. And disrespecting the culture and the women. And the Melanated coach, he suspended the program. He suspended football, bro.
Yeah, does he still get paid?
That's a good question. Right. How does he have the authority to do this? Well, he suspended the team. So I'm sure the AD, that's a good question. I'm sure the AD has got something to say about it, but I want to get your take because this might be bigger than him. This could be coming from Nike, which what I was asking, everybody's mad at Pookie Morant, but there's other things going on with name, image, and likeness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how is this okay? But Pookie can't show a gun, but then y'all playing songs in NBA games about people talking about shooting each other.
Yeah,
they'll play the Roddy Rich song at a FAMU game. Go ahead, bro.
It's just about your culture and your people. So that's not really a concern to Nike. Now, when you put that swoosh in the video for this song, now we got a problem. So I guess they'll go back and eventually and digitize the Nike swoosh once they threaten the lawsuit, or when they actually go ahead and sue them.
They're going to file a cease and desist, FAMU and Nike, and that video is going to come down. But go ahead, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just young people being young. Not understanding contractual agreements and the face that they're putting forward for the university, the sponsorship of the university, and if the song is that damn bad, which I'm gonna go listen to it after the show,
you won't get through it.
Well, I'll turn it off, but there's no reason for somebody out of those groups between we know the rapper didn't care, but the players or whoever allowed them access to the locker rooms got to stop and think like, man, what are going to be the repercussions of us letting you film in the damn locker room? And
I mean, Ace, it's like back in the day, Pac, he had different types of songs. Man, I want you to sneak me in. Well, what you rapping about? Dear Mama. Okay, we can pull that off. Well, what you rapping about? F you, man. F your wife, and you know what I mean? Nah, we ain't. I can't do that. It ain't gonna go good.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be university level thinking athletes or managers, whoever
up, yes, right. But yeah, it's supposed to be. Go ahead, bro. Yeah,
but now you're just looking like you're some Pookies now. A group of Pookies playing football down there at FAMU. So big, thumbs down to them. I'm sure Nike stepped in and said, we need to cease and desist and cancel or suspend your program, or we're going to pull everything up out of there. And that was an easy choice for the coach and the AD to make, to suspend football, as opposed to losing Nike sponsorship for the entire university. So
And it's a slippery slope though, Ace, because they're getting advertisement like, say, Ray does a video and they just happen to be wearing a Nike shirt or some Nikes or some Jordans, and they're in these videos. You see it all the time. Nike ain't complaining about that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more coming from the university, because, I mean, I've never heard something worse than this, honestly. And for any of you young cats out there, like, he just hating. Nah, I mean, we got a whole drill music series on TATN. It's called Send a Blitz.
I've never heard anything
Wake up,
worse.
go on, send a blitz. Fuck it on like La Holmes. Every day got a brand new bitch. Nigga, I'm tired of going home. Told that hoe don't speak on shit. Bitch, you in a quiet zone. Quit the swipe a bitch up by my music.
Now I'm gonna stop it there. The whole song, he's just talking about some desecrating black women.
Yeah.
At FAMU, at a black college, like they missed it.
Yeah, somebody's guy from the hood. I mean, from the hood, and they figured that they can do this. They probably wanted to use the band and everything to situate.
And the coach trying to save his job because so one of the trustees called him like, "What the hell is going on?"
Right. Yeah. Just get rid of everybody. We can get anybody to coach. Probably a 4-win team.
Hey, so I got corporate cats we've been booking for the self-love show, and I might do a
self-love show
promo video, and they'll hit me up like, "Man, yeah, corporate called me, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got people monitoring this shit on social media, man."
Right.
Ace, if you owned a business and you heard some of that, and wait, they're in my restaurant doing this. You know what I'm saying?
After hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait a minute. Damn it, that's the lobby of my damn restaurant.
Wait, that's my house? Right.
Yeah.
Right. Take that shit down. Right.
They called me out of town. Yeah, I absolutely understand. So yeah, especially with this social media litigious society that we live in today, you got to do a little bit more thinking before you put your scholarship and your university out there in that type of situation. Because they can get rid of all them guys, and nobody would care as long as the university gets to keep Nike for the entire sports arena. So yeah. They get rid of everybody, and I'm sure I'm gonna look it up, see how many games the FAMU Rattlers football team won last year. But I over under is 4 for me, so maybe 5. So anybody can go, anybody can get it, and I'm sure that's what's gonna happen. Once they really decide what they want to do about this video and using the name and logo and likeness of the university. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, we got to do better, y'all.
You got to think. I mean, these kids, they jump off into stuff and do stuff real fast. It's freedom of speech and blah, blah, blah. But
it's a time and a place too.
Yeah. You're talking about consequences and repercussions. You're gonna hurt a lot of people with this particular song, using your likeness of your university, the campus, the uniform. So yeah.
Bro, as a parent, you'd see that. You might be considering sending your son there to play for him. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no.
They got these drill rappers in here talking nonsense.
It's a madhouse down there. No, thank you.
Yeah, it ain't like they was Miami when they were winning. To your point, you look at how many games they won.
Yeah. God bless them. Hopefully they come out with a little bit more knowledge after this situation. and they'll be able to process a little more once the penalties everything is cleared up at the end. But hey, it's football season. Game starting 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is football season.
So I don't know how soon they're going to clear this up, but it's terrible to hear for the university.
Absolutely. And I'm trying to get this to play.
We got the whole shebang for all you women. We got y'all covered.
Tell me if you can hear this. Give me a sec. Computer audio. Share. Are you hearing? Hold on.
I don't hear anything.
And for years and years, when I criticized Baker Mayfield, many of you in the audience, though not all.
Yeah, we got the booger of the week, Colin Cowherd. This is fair use. Booger of the week, Colin Cowherd.
That have the most pressure. It's not on Dak. It's on Justin Fields. He's 5-20 in 25 starts. And for years and years, when I criticized Baker Mayfield, I believe many of you in the audience, though not all, I did have a lot of supporters, but many of you in the audience confused ego for confidence. I thought Baker had too much ego. I also said that about Johnny Manziel. He had too much ego.
Look who he's comparing.
You guys would say, it's I love my quarterback to be confident. So do I. Mahomes is.
Bums.
He has self-awareness. Brady, Peyton Manning, Justin Herbert, Burrow, Lamar Jackson, they have confidence. I don't see their ego. I don't see Lamar's ego. I don't see Josh Allen's ego. I saw it with Baker every Wednesday at the podium. I saw it with Manziel. It matters.
He's comparing Justin's character to these guys.
You have told me it doesn't matter.
A drug addict.
And I always say with young quarterbacks, when I start seeing the drip, 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 that's the term I use. The faucet's leaking. Drip, drip, drip. One little thing, that little thing, that little thing. It all matters at quarterback. It doesn't all matter at corner, middle linebacker, edge rusher, guard, running back. I don't hold them to the same standards. But at quarterback, you're the face of the franchise, and you're the coach on the field. So I'm going to hold you to a much higher standard of self-awareness and confidence over ego or chutzpah. And so this is not the end of the world. It's 5%. But I don't love it for a quarterback that's 5-20 and right now is closer to a bust than a star. Lamar's an MVP, Cam's an MVP, Vic's a 4-time Pro Bowler, Steve Young's a Super Bowl winner, Justin Fields is 5-20. You should have said, can we make it a top 4? Or said, I'd love to be there. Now, you can argue, I don't think he's one of the top 5 running quarterbacks. He'd get banged up, can't win games. It's not the end of the world. MVP, 4-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winner, bust. I just want a better answer. Not the end of the world. Either was Baker Mayfield calling out Duke Johnson, the running back of the medical staff. I don't know. J-Mac rolls his eyes. It ain't that big of a deal. But I got a guy with a quarterback rating in the 70s. A guy that's now hurt. They ended the season with a 10-game losing streak. By the way, who would I put in that list? Russell Wilson? You know, Super Bowl winner.
You put Russell Wilson.
I'm sorry.
Top 5 rushing
list
quarterback
of 5
list.
best running quarterbacks. If you're a great running quarterback, you win games. I've always been 60-40 on Justin Fields.
Russell don't even be running.
Succeed. I'm coming back 5%, Jay.
Running back.
I'm 55-45.
So
he's going to succeed.
Right, enough of this. So basically, he got butthurt because somebody asked Justin Fields, and he said, well, I feel like I'm top 5 Russian quarterbacks in NFL history. So he juxtaposed that to say this guy's arrogant as opposed to confident, bro.
Did Justin ever date his daughter?
Probably. You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I don't know what this guy has against Justin Fields.
Well, he's 5-20. He's got a 70 overall rating.
Well, I mean, his team sucked, and his team sucked for a reason, so they can get the number 1 draft pick. And now, you know, they picked who they wanted this year, and they got 2 number 1s and 2 number 2s next year. You dumb son of a.
And he was balling out last year.
Yeah. I mean, come on. The only reason he didn't break the record is because there was no reason for him to break the record. They set him out of that last game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, you get these platforms because you drop dead gorgeous, and you know, I don't understand why, you know, they allow these guys to say some of the stuff they continue to rant about week after week or month after month, because he's going to get on his Justin Fields diatribe and bandwagon all the way through till the season starts, you know, about, you know, he's 5-20 until, you know, he turns the record around. But that, you know, that's the team. The team sucked. And
no mention of him being NFL Offensive Player of the Week and NFC Offensive Player of the Week. No mention of any of that. No mention of his rating last season, you know, and how it trended, how it got better. No mention, to your point, of all the problems and issues the Bears organization have had with the management and how he was mishandled, how we have no line. He didn't even mention the offensive line, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and his record is still number 2 for quarterbacks in the history of the NFL as far as rushing the ball.
Yeah, in the season, correct.
No mention of that either.
No mention of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's the point he's trying to make is, you know, to be a top 5 running quarterback, you have to be a winner, is what he's saying. And no, you don't. You don't.
Yeah, Steve Young was a bum when he was in Tampa Bay, and he would have stayed a bum if he'd have stayed there, but he went to San Francisco that had all the things that he needed to be a winner to win. So
correct.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying, you know, and I think Justin's being confident and speaking his truth. One thing I don't get from Justin is what this guy's trying to say. He's the arrogant black guy with the drip. You heard him blowing his dog whistle? Yeah. Drip. Yeah.
Drip, black guy.
Yeah. We don't know if his daughter's still dating those colors, but it sure sounds like it.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. And every opportunity I got, I'm going to let the world know that they're not all that with their drip. I'm going to find her a drop dead gorgeous a guy to marry and have some grandkids for me, even though the kid probably turned out melanated by the time they get to the delivery room. But anyway,
he didn't mention the receivers this guy's been trying to throw to.
Yeah, you know, definitely the blocking, the offensive line, and the overall goal, which might not have been overtly put out there for the Bears, but it was to after a while it was to tank, you know,
and keep them upright, keep them healthy, right?
Yeah. So you know, and it all worked out, and we're sitting. Oh my gosh, it's sitting pretty next year for the first and the second rounds of the draft, or whatever we want to do now. Now, you know, if we can get New York on the phones and make that deal happen. So, yeah, you got to take everything this booger says with a grain of salt, you know. And he's along the lines of Stephen A. Especially with, you know, as the season gets to progressing, he's still going to be on his
clickbait.
Yeah, for Justin Fields, and I don't think there's much we can do about it until the Bears ultimately hit 14-3 this year, as predicted right here on Mouthpiece Included. So we'll see what he.
Yeah, as predicted by you on Mouthpiece Included. I got for clarity, I got him at 9-8, 10-7. But now if they do pick up Saquon, then yes, I'll be with you on that.
We'll see what happens, and will he be willing to eat crow once the Bears start ascending to one of the elite teams of the NFL? Definitely a tough out for anybody they play, which they were last year. I mean, you know, they were in so many one-score games. Just to say that he's a loser is idiotic, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's Bush League, and you know, that's why people are not watching this stuff.
Yeah.
So that they have to keep, you know, one-upping it. They have to, you know, always keep, you know, putting up the most clickbait to, like you said last week, to even be relevant. You know, so but enough of we know this guy, he's a major booger of the week. So you guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump on topic, which is melanated swimming, a short history. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go through this a little bit, Ace. But I do got some questions for you about swimming. You know, so who was the first swimmer of African descent to win the Navy medal for heroism? Charles Jackson French, 23. He was a Negro mess attendant. They had him in the mess hall. Yeah, from Foreman, Arkansas. He was commended by Admiral William Halsey Jr. and awarded the Navy Medal in 1943. I didn't hear about this in my history class. For swimming 6 to 8 hours, which was probably 8 hours, in shark-infested waters, towing a raft filled with 15 wounded pink sailors to safety after their ship was sunk by the Japanese off the Solomon Islands. The raft was drifting towards Japanese-occupied territory, and if had it washed ashore, the sailors would have either been taken as prisoners or killed. The raft was eventually rescued at sea by an American craft. His conduct was in keeping with the highest traditions of the U.S. Naval Service. So this guy you had in the mess hall was able to get
fill the potatoes.
How many of these wounded? 15 onto a raft and swim them up to 8 miles, bro. Chris Charles Jackson.
Hero. And yeah, they probably a great job when he does potatoes peeled out back. So we got mashed potatoes planned for the meal later on today.
This should be a movie. I know they ran out that movie with Cuba Gooding, you know, being a Navy diver. Yeah. But this, boy, they don't want to show us in that image.
No, not swimming. Not saving. How many?
15. 15. 8 miles, Ace. I mean, put that into perspective. You got, what year is this? 1943. They've been calling you all kind of N-words. Let me tell you something. If it was me, I'd have been backstroking. Help, help, help. You know what I mean?
But he saved 15 and got him 8 miles. Imagine that in the ocean.
Shark-infested waters, they said. Blood all around.
Only in America.
And I never heard his name.
Yeah.
That's the sickest part about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk, yeah. And like you were saying, even if it's a Lifetime movie or, you know, you're bringing it on during Shark Week, make the damn movie showing the prowess of this particular.
That's the brother right there. Look how they had him back there peeling potatoes and shit.
Yeah.
Best swimmer on the damn boat, obviously.
Only in America. And I can say that again. Only in America.
Greatest country in the history of great countries.
Greatest country. Yeah. Pillow potatoes.
So that's swimming. You know, he's some sort of melanated. Now, this is what I didn't know, Ace, and this is on Chicago State. I've been saying Chicago State, it's Division I. We need to do better. That place should be DePaul 2.0. But that's a whole. I don't want to hear excuses, and they don't have money, and this, that, and the fourth.
No,
get these kids Blazers this year to be a Tesla. All y'all get the new Tesla truck. You know what I mean? The bulletproof truck. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna revamp the dorms, and you're gonna come play for this shithole school. You know what I'm saying? You guys, you know what I'm saying? But this kid, he was from DC, Chicago State's Fred Evans. Now, he won the 100-yard breaststroke at the 1975 NAIA National Swimming Championships. And that's coming from Chicago State, bro, right there in your backyard.
Right, yeah. Right down the street there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You just don't, you don't hear about it. Chicago State don't even have a bust of him. He should have a statue out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They can't get the funding. Go ahead. I want to hear all your can't get the funding stories. In Chicago, always acting posed, one of the richest cities on the planet. Not you, but
But they had Chris Zorich, former Chicago Beat, over there as athletic director for a couple of years. And after he left, this was just recently, the last couple of years.
I didn't know Zorich. I didn't know he took over. Okay.
Yeah, he was recruiting athletes and getting them in there, but I think some of those meetings didn't go as planned. And
some of them prime time meetings. Yeah, we're gonna steal all the money. This is a sham. This is a hustle, bro. Ain't nobody trying to do all that shit you talking about.
Right. We're trying to steal. We don't give a damn about no athletics
or these kids.
Yeah, so he ended up leaving. And it's in the situation they're in now. They put a committee together to
exploratory committee. I've heard this before.
Division I football at Chicago State. I was like, how can you?
They was gonna play at Gately.
Yeah, probably so. But how can you explore football when just a year earlier you dropped baseball? And you got a brand new damn stadium over there because you say you can't afford to keep together a baseball team. So,
and you had a Hall of Famer, Chris Zorich, in your program that played football on a high level in college and high school, even went pro. And and you don't get the team.
Now when he's gone, you wanna start looking at putting together.
That sounds like another money grab, bro.
The committee to find some money to play Division I football. So I don't know what's going on over there athletically, but swimming ain't it for them.
And speaking of swimming, speaking of swimming, Holland's Enith Brigitte, she's not foundationally melanated American, but she's African. She placed third at the 1976 Montreal Olympics. There was some swimming going on around 75, 76, boy.
Yeah.
In the 100-meter, she placed second behind a German in the 100-meter freestyle. Now, the first swimmer of African descent to make a U.S. national team was UCLA's Chris Silva of L.A. He was a member of the World University Games in Edmonton, Canada in 1982. The charismatic Silva was elected team captain. He was also an employee of ISHOF in charge of one of the nation's first aquatic diversity programs at the time of his tragic death in an auto accident in Fort Lauderdale in 1991. Who was the first swimmer of African descent to win an Olympic gold medal and an NCAA Division I title? Anthony Nesty. I think that's him behind me. Anthony Nesty with the goggles on. He beat the USA's Matt Biondi. I remember this in the 100-meter butterfly at the 1988 Seoul Olympics by 1/100th of a second 2 years later, as a sophomore, swimming for the University of Florida, Nesty won the 100 and the 200-yard fly at the NC2As. The 6-time Gator All-American, also the 16-time Gator All-American, also won the 100-meter fly in the 4x100-meter relay in 1991, then the 100 fly in 1992. Nesty is currently the head coach for his alma mater, Florida.
Okay. Yeah. But you know, the swimming trends seem to go in cycles, like in the 70s. And even though he is a great swimmer from the University of Florida, he still can't develop those that talent and get those. Well, he's probably, is he recruiting melanated swimmers? Let's ask that question. But.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, and we're definitely gonna get there. We're definitely. I'm just let me give you some more highlights.
Okay.
Who was the first African American swimmer to set an American record? Atlanta's Sabir Muhammad of Stanford set a short course meters American record in the 100 butterfly. That was in 1997. The first swimmer of African descent to make a U.S. Olympic swimming team, Anthony Irvin of Cal and the Phoenix Swim Club, made the U.S. Olympic team in 2000. He was also the first to medal, tying Gary Hall Jr. Sounds like some sort of color. He tied Gary Hall Jr. for the gold in the 50 free and earning a silver in the 4x100 freestyle relay at the Sydney Games. First female melanated to win an NCAA Division I title. University of Georgia's Maritza Correa of Tampa, Florida, won both the 50-yard freestyle and 100 freestyle to 2002 women's NC2As. First female swimmer of African descent to set an American record. Again, Maritza Correa, who was the first swimmer of African descent to hold a world record and win an Olympic gold medal. Cullen Jones of Newark, New Jersey, and North Carolina State. Jones was a member of the U.S. team that set a world record in the 4x100 meter freestyle relay in 2006 and in 2008. He was a member of the gold medal winning 4x100 freestyle relay in Beijing as well. Simone's Manuel got a gold medal. She's Black. Who was the only female swimmer of African descent who was the first African American swimmer? Okay, so the first Black swimmer to swim across the English Channel was Charles Chapman. He's from Buffalo, New York. He's the first African American swimmer to cross the Channel. That was in 1981. The first person to swim the Channel was an English sailor in 1875.
Is Black?
Yeah, probably so. You'll never hear about that. All right. Who was the only All-American swimmer? Milton Gray Campbell was the only All-American swimmer to win the Olympic decathlon. And Plainfield High School in New Jersey is where he came out of. So, yeah, so these are some highlights that, and I'm sure there's more that, aren't as heralded. Yeah, but, they, now I want to, get into this. For a long time, Ace, we couldn't even get into the same swimming pool with them. They drained it and put bleach in it, and
yeah,
you know what I mean.
That
had to be a setback.
Said they were cleaning it up after they've been urinating in the pool all damn day, but we couldn't get in there at the same time because of our color of our skin, our melanation. So.
They just didn't want to race us.
Yeah, well, anything that we compete in, we're going to excel in, especially, even though the general stereotype is that people of color can't swim, but we know that isn't true. There's a lot of people that can't swim, whether they're melanated or not. It's just a matter of the choice of learning the skill of swimming. So unfortunately, it has set us back. I would assume back to the civil rights movement as far as us getting into pools and being able to race against these particular pink people who are setting these records for all of these years, prior to us being able to compete against. So it's American.
Yeah, and you talk a lot about college or educational opportunities, even private schools on a high school level.
Mm-hmm.
What could be inhibiting us today, bro? Is it the blackball redlining?
Well, I mean, you got to assume it is. You can look at some of these controversies as far as parents, setting stuff up to send their kids to college, even though they're rich, and they're putting them on certain teams at different universities, like the swim team and the lacrosse team.
Yeah, USC was big on it.
Yeah, so these parents are dumping these kids on these university with money and giving them letters and all this crap, and they don't deserve it. Why, you have these athletes out here who's ready to compete across the world and swimming, and not given the opportunity because little Barbie or little Jimmy, was put on the swim team because he couldn't compete in any other sport at the university. So, there's a lot of different factors like that.
We used to come over from Hyde Park and go swimming in Washington Park.
Yeah.
It was a little thug city up there. I'm in the shower. It felt like I was at the Cook County, shower. Thugs. You know what I mean? But I used to go, me and my guys like Ron Time, we was good, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I don't remember any like swimming lessons being offered, and it was just jump in the water and piss.
Right. Yeah.
But we do have swimming pools. The YMCA's tend to have them. I'm just wondering, we do have a lot of karate schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it may just come down to somebody building it, swimming programs. And I think the parents might start signing their kids up for it. I mean, this could save their life.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have a Salvation Army Croc Center out near where I live, and they got a big Olympic pool and swim lessons for the kids. But it's a membership type thing as opposed to little Pookie and little Ray Ray. There's nothing that they can just venture into and be taught how to swim, or even though, and they're not out trying to recruit or find these kids to join or form swim clubs where that you would have in other suburban communities or, communities that have pools.
You mean like little league type swim teams? Because a swimming trunks and those goggles, man, they don't cost that much money.
No. I mean, it's probably if you got a pool or somewhere that you can use to swim, which most park districts have here, or like I said, there's certain entities like a Croc Center have that you can set up to put a team together, and just like travel ball versus rec ball.
Yeah. It'd be like the AAU of swimming, right?
Yeah. You're gonna have different levels of swimmers or different quote unquote classes, and you can get kids out here and put swim teams together, and they can compete. In the area, statewide.
Do chicks dig the fast swimmers? I mean, does this have something to do with it? Like in our culture?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
can
you imagine walking around the South Side with your little Speedos on and your goggles headed to work out?
Well, I mean, the swimmers tend to have those swimmers' athletic builds. So I think they'll be
that's
okay.
True. Yeah, that's
and I
true.
think even at this park up here that T used to go to for after school, Fernwood, they got a swim club. So it's just a matter of putting stuff together I've seen competitions down at UIC when we were down there practicing baseball, swimming competitions.
And you saw Melanated's involved?
There might have been one Melanated team as opposed to all of the swim teams that were down there. But you know, it's just something that we historically aren't
because we weren't allowed.
So it's something else that the systemic racism has put us behind in, and just a matter of catching up. That's all.
Yeah, they'll funnel $1 billion us into basketball, you know, but there's no look. We're talking about keeping kids out of trouble, man. Developing some camaraderie and, like you said, education opportunities, bro. These little private schools, and to your point, they don't want us getting those scholarships. And I'm talking at the high school level. These Catholic schools, man, if some kid was beating everybody in swimming coming up, man, that kid would have a free education in high school.
Right.
You don't have to send them to DuSable. Is DuSable still in business?
No, DuSable's good.
They closed down DuSable?
Yeah.
That's one I agree with. I didn't agree with all the school closings, but oh my God. How about Phillips? Is Phillips still in business?
Phillips is a football power. They are still open. So yeah, Phillips is still
I think they changed their curriculum, the magnet or something, I think.
Yeah.
Because they used to funnel all the people from the projects into Phillips and DuSable, and it was
I don't think it's a neighborhood school anymore.
Right. That's what I don't think. Yeah, exactly.
And they closed all of the feeder systems for that school, which were the projects of the city of Chicago.
Is Chicago King still in business?
Yeah, King is a selective enrollment school now.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a test to get in there now.
Yeah, but DuSable, boy, oh God. Man, my child would have been not going to school. I would have been telling him, you don't go to school. If that was our only choice, no.
You gotta move.
You just gonna be, you ain't, because that's gang recruitment and you ain't going. You know what I'm saying? I'll teach you what I can here, and ain't gonna be no college for you or nothing, but maybe we can move. But if we couldn't, I'm saying, bro, if I couldn't, I'm not sending you to that school. Man, Nas' parents pulled him out of school in Brooklyn that was that bad like that. His dad went to the school, man. They called his dad to school for something. He said, man, I told my son, you ain't never going back. It was a prison.
Yeah. So that's those. They booted. Well, when we had the flight, and they sent all of those city dwellers to the suburbs, and now they're taking over all of the schools and making them selective enrollment. And you got a test to get into school. They change curriculums, and those are all big, great, beautiful schools. All they had to do was some little remodeling, bring in, some pink principal and teachers. And
get some transportation to and fro to have them safe.
Oh yeah. So all that has been taking place, and they don't have something.
So we got college and education opportunities. We got health. It's one of the most healthiest sports, that you can be in.
Yeah.
And it's the only sport that can literally save your life, bro.
Yeah. And with low exposure to injury. Because of, you're
low impact, you're in the water. Yeah.
Low impact, you're not working your joints, you're not, running on concrete or running on pavement or jumping, and everything is in the water. So it's a great sport to excel in. And I know we've got swimmers that can excel at the highest level and swimming, just as we do in every sport. So
even with diving, bro, you can't tell me the way we be doing flip-flops and double nose and that we would not dominate that sport as well, bro.
Yeah. You had a guy or a female in the neighborhood that can flip and jump, and, and do all these particular gymnastic moves with swag. But we were
Bro, we used to be at Washington Park, and I mean, I couldn't do all the fancy stuff, but you had cats. Yeah. I'm like, man, dude did that. He might have splashed in the water, but yeah, they was flipping and diving. Nobody taught him nothing.
Right. You either saw it on television or maybe saw it at a competition or saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
Not taught traditionally by a traditional coach.
No.
They just developed the wherewithal or just worked on it to the point where
that's how we learned our music. That's how we was learning skateboarding, the BMX riding, all of that, bro. Basketball even. We was just learning by doing. It wasn't a lot of that coaching and the AAUs and we're going to teach you to step back. You know what I mean? No, you got out there on the court and you played.
Yeah.
You wanted to know how to flip. You got out there in the street and you might have fell on your face. You might have tried on the mattress a couple times, but then you was doing it on the grass and then you was in the middle of the street on concrete.
Yeah, you became proficient in it. So, yeah, I feel you. I understand. And like I said, we're just behind because of, the country we were born into and what was going on and still goes on to this day. And just like some of the other things that we brought up on the show, like lacrosse, swimming, robotics, all of these things that we are perceived not to be able to excel in and set aside for other cultures. We just got to get in the door and knock the door down, and we can get all of these scholarships, free education, and own and operate our own companies, our own swim teams, our own lacrosse teams, or start the Negro Leagues back up, and all these things that are available to us. It's just a matter of us getting together and getting it done. The Negro Leagues is probably the easiest, I believe, for us to bring back. But I'm looking now, since Major League Baseball has accepted their records, it would be direct competition with MLB, and I think that's the problem with the Negro Leagues coming back. So, but you can always just start new leagues and make different teams and different names, and let's get it done. There's so many Black baseball players that are done in college or after college because there's a ceiling for them and baseball, and Major League Baseball, and you can see it. All of the melanated players that are pretty much playing nowadays are of Latin descent, and there's nowhere for all these Ricky Hendersons and the Vince Colemans, the guys that excelled in the 80s and 90s who all of a sudden disappeared from the face of the earth in baseball. There's nowhere, the Barry Bonds, the Hank Gibson, the Satchel Paige, there's nowhere for these guys to play anymore because they reach a certain ceiling in baseball. They just want to see the long ball, or they want to see the guy throwing 89, 90, 100 miles an hour. And they want to funnel us on the track or on the basketball and football field. That's what they did to us when I got to Eisenhower. They was pushing us towards the other sports and then pushing all of them into baseball. I'd say this, I'd like to see in swimming. So a lot of folks use track when they're raising their child up to get the motor. That if they're football or basketball player, they make them run track just so they can get that running motor. I'd use swimming for that. Yeah, absolutely, low impact,
develops every muscle
in the body, and
And then
Yeah,
go,
I mean,
go ahead with your
I think-
final words. We got the producer, the executive producer, telling us to wrap it up.
chiming in.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Well, it was a great to hear the stories of the swimmers that have excelled in this country, even the servicemen that saved, what was it, Charles Jackson, that saved 15 men and swam 8 miles to get these guys to safety.
Throwing them on a raft, 8 miles.
Yeah.
Shark infested ocean water.
In the 40s, they would have been hard pressed to get there with me. But they I'd have been using them for bait, if the sharks was coming. Like
Maybe that's what he was doing.
Got one. Maybe he started out with 25 and ended up saving 15.
Right, before he got found. Right.
Yeah. But I digress. Again, with all of the sports that are that garnering scholarships for different cultures, I believe swimming, and I've seen good to great swimmers in our communities that once they've gotten to the high school or past the high school level, their swimming careers are unfortunately over. There's not a lot of recruitment of melanated swimmers. There's not a lot of swim clubs.
They don't want them in the swimming pool with them. They're dirty.
I pray that that's still not the case in 2023, but I know in some instances it still is. So let's do a better job as a society of open up these opportunities, not as a society, as a culture of melanated people, of open up this particular venue for our youths to get better in and to excel in. And it's another individual as well as a team sport where they can learn different life skills. So I believe that we should, do what we can. And all these community pools. I know we got a lot of pools here in Chicago to develop swim clubs. I know there's not a lot of melanated swim coaches.
And
but
those
there's
pools aren't built for us. Those neighborhoods used to be white. But go ahead.
But the pools are still here.
Still there.
So let's use them. Let's get these. Let's set aside some of this newfound money that goes to all kind of programs, such as immigrants showing up from different countries and staying at the police station. Spend $1 million of that, send it to kids to start their own swim club, pay their coaches, and get them some Speedos or goggles or whatever they need to.
We be wearing them baggy trunks, boy. We make it cold. I'm not wearing.
But you gotta be sleek and streamlined to swim. But
okay.
Yeah, I think there's so many revenue sources that can get this going, and let's get it done. There's so many revenue sources that can fund a swim club. It doesn't take a lot of money. You can get these city pools to generate or to allow them to have time to practice in at a minimum amount or, at no fee. So, let's do better. We can swim. We can swim at a high level. Let's put some clubs together and let's get it done. I
thought my body wouldn't float like everybody else's. They was like, oh yeah, you will float. Everyone, I'm like, man, but I'm not white. They was like, no, your body will float. So one thing, and those are great words, bro. All I'll add to that is, it's good. Hate giving away my ideas, but I don't think there are any high level video games based on swimming, bro. You know, yeah, you know what I mean? That might be fun, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're pressing a button and you're swimming. You gotta learn how to do the backstroke and all of that, man. And get online and race with everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? And that might generate some interest. You know, we got soccer, you know what I'm saying? Video games, we got baseball, basketball. So just another way to get the youth minds on it and say, hey, man, let me try that in real life. You know, we got to do anything because our kids are going from this to this. Many of our kids, they're going from nobody knows what's going on in their internet world that they're doing. And then, they, you know, and then all of a sudden he's a good kid and, you know, he got shot and he was a good kid.
Yeah, definitely they can use VR
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be real nice.
You be right in that water.
Yeah. So that's all for today's episode of Mouthpiece Included. We truly hope you enjoyed learning more about the history, culture, and achievements of melanated Americans in the sport of swimming. We also hope you feel more inspired to support, promote, and celebrate them in our own way. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, and share on your favorite platform. Until next time, keep swimming, keep shining. This is Mouthpiece Included. And you got any next week on the Self-Love Show? Yeah, I think we're going to have our first white guest appearing. Ex-military, some sort of spook. I think he was on our ass, but we'll see. But and drone operator, did a lot. You know what I'm saying? So that's next week. And you got any topics in mind, bro? For next week, Mouthpiece.
Thinking about, it's time for training camp. You know, I'm always in football mode. Let's I think we need to look in the ownership interests of these sports franchises, these quote unquote melanated owners. What are their real percentages? Let's figure that out.
Definitely got to figure that out.
You know, that was quite interesting. Delving into Brother Magic's ownership interest.
Man.
We gotta see if we're really sitting at the table or not.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so you ever find yourself sliding through south side of Chicago, you can be on the out west, or you might be dipping, making blocks through Inglewood, Cali. Make sure you're checking that blind spot. Check your six. Keep your head on the swivel. Watch your back. Guard your grill. Knuckle up. And don't forget
it, baby.
And don't forget to don't forget to bring your mouthpiece.
Better guard your grill.
Keep swimming. We can swim, man. We float.